I'm going to talk about how did processed foods become this popular. I talked about this in my previous presentation, but I want to talk about it again with more details today. So I watched a documentary called Cooked. That is a very good documentary talking about foods trends in America and even around the world. It has a lot of interesting and educational points that I want to talk about today. So I'm going to introduce a couple points in this documentary through the presentation. Okay, so I want to start with a quotation by Harry Bauder. Is that a lot of people say that Americans are cooking more in the homes again. They're not. They are not cooking at all at their homes. That is a very normal phenomenon in our society nowadays. But how did that become this way? So the story begins with after World War II, and the food industry was definitely the one who began the whole story. During the World War II, food industry invented processed foods such as canned meats. Those processed food were supplied to the troops and to feed those troops. And after the World War II, processed food industry found out that there's a huge potential profit that they can make if they can sell those processed food not only to troops but also to American families. And they also noticed with more and more the food is processed, there are more money they can make. That is the very first stage of processed foods wonder. Food industry starts selling canned meats such like Spam, canned fruits such like frozen fruit salad to American family, and made those processed food part of their dinner, their meal, not just a side food such as snacks. So those processed food are getting more and more in our daily life at that time. And it did not stop there. When the times comes to 60s and 70s, the advertisement of food, processed food, is getting more and more exposed to people. And there's another study in my previous presentation. It basically talks about the employed women are working has increased with the time passed and the economy developed. So when more and more women started working outside the home, there's definitely need a new division of labor at homes. So men and women started arguing at homes about who should be cooking. When the argument gets more and more serious, that is a time when the food industry stepped in. Basically what they did is they stepped in and say, hey, stop arguing, we got you a solution. And the solution is processed food, because processed food does not require any time of cooking. So that basically freed people at that time. And a very smart move that food industry made was to target on busy housewives by advertising. For example, the 70s Kentucky Fried Chicken had a commercial like this. It says "Make tonight Mother's Day," and the idea of this advertisement is to sell super or ultra processed foods to people. Super and ultra processed foods means that food that are ready to go and to be eaten. It is actually different from other processed foods such as canned Spam, because canned Spam is something that you actually have to cook a little bit, but those foods are ready to eat. So for Kentucky Fried Chicken made a commercial like those, like he says, hey, we'll give you a rise during the rush. Those commercials are just completely targeting all the busy housewives at that time, so the busy housewives can actually see hope. They don't have to work and get home and cook anymore. They can basically just work and get food and get home and feed the entire family without stepping into the kitchen. This is what those kind of advertisement brought to us. So as we can see, the time we spend in kitchen today is only 20 minutes per day, when the time we spent in kitchen 50 years ago used to be 60 minutes a day. And when those ultra, not only super and ultra, but normal processed food get more and more popular in America, that is the beginning of obesity. Because those processed foods contain cheaper ingredients, so that is the reason why food industry can keep making money out of it, and that's the reason why they want to sell them so bad. They want to destroy the traditional eating habits of Americans so they can make a lot of more money. And when it comes to marketing, the processed foods are has has to be has to taste as good as homemade foods. That is a key point that they want. That is a key factor that people keep buying those foods. But food industry cook differently than us do. Than we do. So they, because they're using different ingredients, so they added more sugar, salts, and carbohydrates to the foods to make it more attractive. And that is the reason why those foods are addictive. And also, the research shows that the less time you cook, the more food you eat. And another serious problem is those kind of processed foods not only bring obesity to America, it also bring up other health issues such as obesity, not obesity, diabetes and hypertension. And at the very end of the presentation, I want to show an interesting advice by Harry Bowser.
Eat anything you want. Enjoy all of your food. Anything you want. You want apple pie? Have a whole apple pie tonight. You want cookies with that apple pie and ice cream with the apple pie? I'll allow you to eat all the cookies, all the ice cream, all the pie you can have tonight. I'm just going to ask you to do one thing. Make all of them. Make the apple pie, make the ice cream, make the cookies. And you know what I know is going to happen? You're not having apple pie, ice cream, or cookies tonight.
Alright, thanks for watching. Just more information about the documentary. It is called Cooked, and it is available on Netflix if you're interested in. It is a very, very good documentary. It's very worth of watching. Thank you again.